What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. It's David, the one-handed Samoan watchman, and the boy's down, man, injured. I talked to you guys already about the my thoughts about what comes down out of the skies, and the things that are coming down along with the water. And excuse me. Couldn't even tighten my door. There's a lot of things you can't do once you get one hand. This hand is almost completely useless right now. I haven't been able to use it for like 4 or 5 days now. Yeah, man, it hurts. Gout in the hand is, I think, worse than gout in the foot, because you can do things once you're seated. You got your hand. With your hands, you're able to reach around and do things and make things, fix things, still organize things, just keeping things organized. I'm in the middle of the process of moving my desk, rearranging my room pretty much, where my desk is, where I normally broadcast from, and it's a little difficult. I'm glad I was able to move all the heavy stuff before this gout came in. And this gout, by the way, came in by way of Taco Bell. So fuck you very much, Taco Bell, bunch of assholes. Yeah, so I got me a steak burrito, and it was like this double steak burrito thing, and man, it was bomb. And then I didn't realize, so I was just a couple bites away from finishing, that there was something different in there, and that's bacon. You ought to say it, bacon steak burrito, not just double steak burrito. So boycott Taco Bell, those jerks, for putting bacon and stuff that, there should be. You don't need it. If you got steak in it, really, bacon, it sounds amazing. But for people who can't eat pork, again, I talked about this on the stream the other day with Subway. I didn't know that their tuna was pork. And there's people like me who can't eat pork, or else become instantly disabled and in pain. So I'm on all kinds of meds, and I'm actually out. I'm trying to replace the anti-inflammatory pills and pain pills with stuff that I can get. And I know a lot of my friends on YouTube have different natural methods of relieving it. So far, I haven't found anything that could alleviate gout. I've heard of turmeric alleviating inflammation, and so like arthritis and things like that. But gout is something crazy. I think it's artificial. I think it was created for the sole purpose of disabling big, strong men. You don't have to shoot people if they can't hold a gun. You know what I'm saying? And so it would make sense to poison the sky so that big, strong men would inhale this stuff and become disabled. So there goes long arms. So yeah, I've been having a hell of a time lately, just trying to do stuff like bathe and cook. And yesterday, thank God, my father-in-law was able to help me out, because I had cylinder 7 misfiring in my new car, and had to replace the spark plug. And so I was able to do it. Good thing it was a right-hand job, and I was in the middle of it, but it was nice to have some help. So shout out to him for that. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks, the stuff that they're doing to us. I don't by any means think that this is a natural thing. If you look at the rates, I don't know if it's even being documented, but I've noticed that gout and the numbers of people that are experiencing it, especially in my culture, it's growing. And it was something that was known to happen mainly in black folks. But now it's like every Samoan that I know that they get older, they're starting to get it now. And there's older folks, people in their 50s and 60s that, would make fun of us and like, that's what you get for not doing that and not exercising and not doing stuff like how we used to do it, and they're getting it too. I'm starting to see people all over have this gout thing, and so, and the sense, for those of you who are not familiar with it, it's terrible. The pain is horrendous. People have compared it to childbirth. Some people, the sensitivity of their pain is so severe. Like a sheet of blanket laying on the foot would cause a lot of pain in the ankle and pain in their foot. Gout is primarily found in the foot, ankles, and big toes. But now it's all over the place. I shared it before. I had a life insurance client. Her husband was in bed because he had gout in his back. And I was like, how do you get gout in your back? But now I got it in my shoulder on the right side, and I got it in my left hand, and both of it sucks because when you get it, oh my gosh. Last month my whole right arm was disabled. Now my right arm is okay, but now my left hand is disabled, and the weight of my hand just hanging on my wrist is enough to cause so much pain. I can't do shit. But yeah, I didn't come up here to complain about gout. I'm just sharing with y'all that my thoughts and theories on this, what I think to be an artificial disease. It is they say that it stems from liver failure, or the liver not performing as it should, and I think that's an attack and not of the natural kind. So those are my thoughts on that. But today I saw a crazy article. Because every now, first of all, I've been slacking on doing videos, and I've been slacking on doing reporting on something that has become very common on my channel, and that is my thoughts on mind probing. That there are artificial intelligence is becoming some sort of a sentient being, and I believe Satan's involved in the artificial intelligence and its capabilities. And excuse me a second. You gotta put your belt on. I see you. And so, yeah, I think that the devil's involved in artificial intelligence. What is that girl doing? What is that girl doing? She's crossing the street when the fire truck comes by. All the cars stopped, all four ways, and she's still walking right in front of the damn fire truck. People are just amazing. People are something else. Anyways, crazy. Yeah. So I've been slacking in reporting my proof, my evidence on the internet, reading my mind. I know. It sounds crazy. And some of you guys are like, you guys know a lot about truth and the deceptions out there and the craziness and artificial, the transhumanism. But not a lot of people have been reporting on stuff like this. Some people have shared, through my comments, their experiences with these kinds of events, these kinds of phenomena. But providing evidence, I've been, I think I did about a dozen videos already about proof, or my proof, that the internet is reading my thoughts, and it's doing it almost every day, guys. I just haven't been reporting on it. I've been busy. I've been working on other projects. I'm not here to claim, stake a claim to fame or anything like that. Just letting you guys know that this is something big, that this is something that is going to become weaponized, and it's something that's going to be a big part of our lives. I'm sure I'm not the only one experiencing it. I'm sure there's other people who have talked about it. I haven't really searched through the different channels and seen who else is experiencing this, the internet reading minds and stuff like that. Mind probing is what my term, my definition is the term I like to use to define what's going on. But yeah, I need to report on that. But today I saw a crazy article that came up through the Google tabs news portions, and that was about a facility that has humans and animals who are that are officially dead and awaiting to be brought back to life. And so there is a facility. I'm sure some of you have seen it. There's a facility that has these big metal containers with liquids, and what they do is preserve humans and animals, real people who were sick and about to die, and um, chose to be what's preserved, chose to be preserved in these containers. And there's a whole facility with all this machinery and technology, um, that is designed to encapsulate live humans, and now they're in some sort of a sleeping state. Their bodies are their hearts are slowed down. They're hooked up to these machines that are to ensure that they are breathing and that they are receiving medications as needed, and also whatever else fluids or um, chemical concoctions that have to be injected into them to ensure that their bodies are preserved, to slow down cell deterioration. And it's quite crazy, man. So we've seen it in shows, we've seen it in movies. I don't know if you've heard that Michael Jackson wanted his head cut off after he died to be preserved, and so that he can be recreated in the future once technology catches up. I think that's stupid. I think it's blasphemous, and I think it's just it's insane. It's insane when you want to sort of check out of the natural system of life, the natural system that God had designed us for. We were here to give it. We're here to be given one life, and to utilize that time in that one life to serve and worship, and to live up to God's purpose for each and every one of us. And for people to try to cheat the system and try to elongate their life, you know, by whatever means, whether it be magic or whether it be by science, I think that's one and the same. Uh, coining the phrase from Thor in the first Thor, or is it the second Thor that he said that? Um, where he said, "You guys, we use magic to heal. You guys use science, but it's the same thing. We just call it something different." And that was telling. That was a big puzzle piece right there. And so, yeah, there's a facility that's doing that, and they have. I was watching the interview of the one of the main scientists that works there, um, and he was explaining that they have these photos and profiles of each and every person that is being preserved in their facility. And the youngest one was a 2-year-old, almost a 3-year-old. They said both her parents were doctors, and their daughter had brain cancer, and it was not treatable or curable. Um, and they said there was nothing they could do, so they chose to preserve her, and put her on this machine and slow down her growth. So now she's stuck as a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old, in this coma state, and they're just waiting for technology to catch up for them to have the abilities to treat this brain cancer, and then they're going to bring her back to life. They'll reanimate her, and then there was questions brought forth, like what's going to happen to these people once they're brought back? Are they going to be the same people? Are they going to have the same memories, the same consciousness? Are they going to know who their mother and father are? Or are they going to wake up to, be this new person? And I, as I'm thinking about that too, which were also questions that were running through my mind, I'm also thinking about the spiritual state. Is this going to be a consciousness of the original child that was preserved, of the original people? Is it going to be the same person? Or is that spirit already gone? Has that soul already moved on? When You know, are they? Because he says that they're legally dead, but they're not physically dead. So they passed away. Suppose so they legally on paper these people have already passed away, and their loved ones chose to encapsulate them, or they chose to encapsulate themselves. Um, and so yeah, some crazy thoughts come in to my mind, like, is it a new soul? Is it a new spirit that comes into this person once they are reanimated, once they are woken up from this state of being in this coma? And it's coma like, I call it a coma, but it's a coma like state where they're just put to sleep here, being preserved. And how much of that how much of that cell deterioration uh, retardant that they're using, which is a crazy word, uh, whatever they're using to slow down the deterioration of the body, because the body's going to deteriorate. Even when you are in a coma state and you're laying there and you're in the bed, and you're put on life support, your body, starts to deteriorate. Um, Things start to fail. Things start to fall apart. Your the blood vessels start to die. I mean, there's a lot of things. Nerve endings start to die. That's why you got to keep getting rotated when you're brain dead. They got to rotate your body, to support the blood flow, and all kinds of stuff happen. So now that they're in this state, in this fluid state, I mean, what's their skin gonna be like? Are they gonna have to have some certain surgeries? You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. All the logistics of everything, um, and there's the whole thing about, is it ethical? To me, it isn't. I accept death, as a part of life. When it's time to go, it's time to go. When if you're sick, I'm not gonna blame God, and I don't do that. I don't get upset when people get sick and they die. Um, I look at it as that's just the plan, and I accept it and I move on. Um, and I know there's people out there that have lost loved ones to sickness. I lost my dad to sickness, and I think medicine made it worse. But that's another subject. But it's just crazy where we're at today, and I haven't really talked much about the what do you call it, the human what's the word, transhumanism, you um, the unnatural humans, the things that they're trying to do now, everything that they're trying to plant into us, everything that they're trying to implant into us, both alive and now dead. The things that they're trying to do to combat diseases that they've already attacked us with. It's crazy where mankind is going today. And if you're not keen to it, if you're not awake to it, you need to wake up. You need to start, questioning things and stop being so ignorant. Please stop being ignorant. I'm glad to see that there's some people in life, in my circle, that are starting to wake up and question things, and starting to put pieces together, and I'm grateful for that. That's my whole purpose of being here on the platform. It's not just to come up here and shoot the shit. I mean, it's fun. It's good to have fun every now and then, and tell jokes and talk about stupid things, and it's all good. But the main purpose of me being on here is to help people to wake up to truth, and so I'm starting to see the fruits of that labor, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. And I pray that all of you gain more pieces, that I gain more pieces. There's a lot of things that I need to study up on again, like the Bible and flat Earth, and the deceptions of space, and do more studying on that stuff. I've been kind of preoccupied, a little busy. I have been, not kind of, but I have been. And so, yeah, man, I just finding little windows like this, like my ride to Walmart to record a video. But yeah, that's something that's on today, and it's funny. Right on the bottom of that uh, article, there's a link to another article which says that there's a vaccine to stop the aging process. There's a vaccine for everything now. There's a vaccine for everything now. It's funny, the normalization of things. You guys got to be aware of it. I'm starting to see Kelly from 90210, and she's on all these commercials of how you need a jab for, all these other basic normal diseases that we've already had cures to. And she's putting out commercials. I think it was like malaria or something like that. I was like, really? Nobody give a shit about malaria, but now you want to make a big thing about it, a big deal about it. Why? Because it normalizes things. And when you normalize something, you get less and less people questioning it. And so that's just the way they operate here. Back in the islands before we had the big deception that caused everybody to stay home for a few years. We had, what was it in the islands? It was something stupid. Um, was it chicken pox? It was something like chicken pox or something. I don't know. It was something that we don't really need to worry about here in the States. And so they put this whole country to fear, and of course they put out videos of kids dying, and the medication, they never had the medications that as children they were never injected, and so now they don't have the basic necessities to fight off things like chicken pox, and and that's why that whole country was in such fear when the big one happened a couple of years ago. So you see how they work. Um, they just scare people into doing shit. And so now we're in the aftermath of that whole stay home thing. And it's funny that the ones that were in fear, they just act like nothing happened. A lot of them act like, oh, got past that. I mean, they're just on to new things, back to drinking at the clubs, back to living life as it was, you know, and business as usual. And my whole thing is, yeah, it's business. We still got to live life, but it's not as usual anymore. And if you're gonna, you know, act like everything's all good now, after trying to like force me to force my children into certain, uh, to go and get certain things done to them, uh, no, we're not gonna go back to life as normal. I'm sorry. Uh, that you've already woken me up to how you really are, a fearful little bitch, who doesn't really give a shit about me or my children, or if I die and leave my children behind. So for that, yeah, it's business, but not business as usual. All right, so I thank God for where I'm at today. I thank God that I'm aware. I thank God that God's put wonderful people around me, especially in the community of YouTube and other platforms like it. Um, as I get my computer and everything repaired and get some new stuff going, so where I can start posting like I used to on Odyssey and BitChute and Rumble, and start building up those platforms. I'm excited about the new phases of the channel, and I'm grateful for everybody that puts out content. Grateful for everybody that supports mine, and continue to love on one another. Continue to push through the rhetoric, and if we debate on certain things, if you don't believe 100% what I believe, let's keep the conversations going, man. That's what opens up doorways, and so stay blessed, you guys. It's a beautiful day out here where I'm at, and I'm enjoying my 3 days off before I go back to work. I get 3 days off every week. Ha ha ha. To all of you that gotta work 2 days, and yeah, I was just blessed to have you guys in my life. Really, let's continue to keep our eyes open. What's going on around here? It's all this weird stuff happening at Walmart. Continue to keep your eyes open. Keep your hearts open. Be open-minded. Continue to research. Continue to question everything. Love one another as Christ would. And never forget, Jesus Christ is the number one thing we ought to be talking about. Everything else will fall into place. Right? Talk about Jesus. Talk about your relationship with Jesus. Not necessarily the Bible, but Jesus. Right? Our Lord and Savior. Right? Talk about God. And let's continue to pray and conversate with Him or converse with Him. I don't know if conversate's a real word. I know some people get mad about it. But yeah, I'm just so blessed to have you guys. Yeah, as a follower in this channel, and I love watching your stuff too. I love chatting with you guys, during all the live sessions. It's a beautiful thing, man. So you guys be blessed. All right, stay away from those damn mosquitoes. Stay away from negative people. Continue to have the tough conversations. Continue to trust in God. No, God did not forsake you, nor leave you. He has not left you to deal with bullshit. He's there with you every step of the way. You just need to ask Him. So, love you guys. God bless. I look forward to. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the chat. God bless.